What's up, guys? We're back with another home theater hangout with yours truly. So, I figured we would talk about some new releases that dropped recently, which you can tell from the title. We're going to talk about Superman, and today's big release was Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. I put Elio in the thumbnail, also in the title. I did start watching this earlier today, but I kind of dozed off a little bit, so we're not going to talk about that. I'll probably save that for next week's live stream. But if you are here today, sound off in the comment section. Let me know that you're here, and then let me know if my microphone is all right. Because every time I come on here, it's either too loud or it's too soft. So if it sounds good today, let me know. But let's kick this off with, I think, last week's big release, which is, where is it? Where did I put my thumbnails here? Nope. Last week's big release is this guy here. Superman. 2025's Superman. This movie was shot in 4K with digital cameras. I think it was like shot in like 4K, maybe like 6K as well, because I think it was shot with the Red V Raptor, which I think is either a 6 or 8K camera. So it was shot with IMAX certified cameras. Not filmed in IMAX, but shot with IMAX in mind. So it does come with the aspect ratio of 190 to 1. So it will fill most of your TV screens, and you will have little tiny black bars on the top and bottom of your television sets. So it's not exactly 185, or what is it, 176? It is full screen. And I did watch this I watched Superman. I also watched Dead Reckoning. You guys are probably going to think it's the Kaleidoscape. This is why I haven't been doing full reviews from the get-go. I have been watching these on the Apple TV lately. I know a lot of folks don't have Kaleidoscapes. A lot of folks have 4K Blu-ray discs players for the physical media crowd out there. So I know every time I would come out with an early Kscape review, I feel like I get more views on physical media reviews rather than Kaleidoscape reviews. So we're probably going to have to, from here on out, I'll do once a week live streams if there is a big enough release for that week, or if I've just watched a bunch of movies for that particular week. We'll come on once a week and we'll talk about the latest releases that I've watched on the Apple TV. And if it's big enough, then I'll do a physical media review on it, a full review. But for these little live streams here, like these big titles I've been doing this week, these are just my first thoughts, first reactions, first impressions off of these digital releases, which is a good gauge for what we should see on the physical media 4K Blu-ray release. The Atmos, as far as the sound bouncing around and all that stuff, that is going to be the same. Of course, it's going to be higher fidelity on physical Blu-ray releases because it's a higher bit rate, so it's going to sound cleaner and better. But as far as like movement and where the sound is placed and all that stuff, the digital release is going to be just fine. And of course, compression is also going to be better on physical release over digital media. So that's why I am not doing full reviews like I have done in the past. So we're just going to talk about just some impressions and all that stuff using these digital releases from here on out. And then we'll go back to physical Blu-ray reviews in the future, because I know everybody can afford 4K movies, 4K Blu-ray movies, whereas not everybody has a Kaleidoscape. But let's go on. And, I did mention that it is shot with digital cameras. It is shot for IMAX, not in IMAX. But you do get the 190 aspect ratio from the beginning of the movie all the way out. And that is a Final Reckoning. Sorry. So we got some. Let's just talk about the picture quality first. Some of these pictures might be a little dark because these are screen caps from from the HDR version, and it's not going to look very good on the screen, but that's okay. But as far as the HDR is concerned, Dolby Vision, if you're watching this on the Apple TV, I mean, if you did pick this up on the Kaleidoscape, it's also on Dolby Vision there as well. But the clarity wise, I mean, this looks just like what I remember seeing it at the theaters. I mean, I did see this movie 3 times at the theater, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. This thing came out, what, 35 days after its theatrical release. So it's pretty fresh in my mind. The one thing that I like about this is that it does have that really clean aesthetic to it. It's really sharp. They did use a very light layer of digital film grain on it. Some of you guys might have noticed this if you picked this up already, but there is a very faint layer of grain. It's I think it might be more like noise in the darker scenes because we know how the dynamic range on digital cameras can be in dark shots, even though this is CG. But the really bright daytime shots, which is like 95% of the movie, is all really bright and colorful. You're going to notice a little bit of film grain in it, which isn't a bad thing. It looks good. You'll notice it more on like the brighter stuff like this here. That's an all white shot, which is out where, what you call it, Superman lives out by his fortress of solitude. But along that comes these specific shots where some of the white highlights, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they do seem a bit overblown. They do look a little bit too bright. So I get the impression that that's kind of the look they're probably going for, because I did notice the same look when I was watching this at the cinemas, at the Dolby Cinemas. I thought that for some reason that the specular highlights were just really hot. So I figured that was just the intentional look that they were going for. And I noticed that a lot of the times in the Lexus headquarters, this is another shot here, usually just outside of his window. You can kind of see how it's a little bit dim here, but when I do the review, you'll see that it's a lot brighter. But that's one thing that I did notice. Of course, this being James Gunn movie, this has it's like the total opposite of the Snyder versions. That's kind of like dark and muted. James Gunn's version is very bright and vibrant. This is very much like Aquaman 1 and 2 from the DCEU lineage. So if you have a big enough display, Dolby Vision HDR10, this has a really bright, vivid color palette. And it does look very much just like a comic book would look. And it's just the details off the charts. I mean, you can clearly tell that this is like the ribbing on his costume it looks to be rubber, whereas the rest of his suit, like his S, looks like it kind of almost has a cloth texture to it, whereas these lines going around his shoulder, around his neck, those are very clearly like rubber. So, I mean, that's the kind of detail that's in this transfer. It's super crisp and super sharp. I would imagine that it's probably going to be better on the 4K Blu-ray. And if you're watching this on the Kaleidoscape, I'm sure it's equally as clean. But just from me watching it on the Apple TV, it looks very good. So I'm really impressed with the visuals on this and the black levels. I mean, like I said, the peak highlights and all that, they are really white. They're really bright. They do kind of look blown out in a lot of shots. Like you'll notice it in like the skies and out the window. Like I said before, that's not Superman. Here as well, you can see like the sun in the background as well. It kind of blows out that entire backdrop there. And the colors are really nice here. It has like a. Do you guys remember what Superman Returns was like? It almost had that teal and orange look to it. Like there's a lot of shots that actually look like Superman Returns in this movie. So that's the video quality. I really like the look of it. I mean, if you like that colorful color palette, like on Aquaman 1, Aquaman 2, then this movie looks just equally as good. I felt that it did look a little bit more TV-ish, especially coming from like Man of Steel. Man of Steel has that very filmic look to it, like it was shot with film cameras, even though it was shot like digitally. And he did add a lot of digital grain, like a heavy amount of grain on that. This one has a very. Sometimes it looks filmic, other times it looks like maybe. I hate to be like a CW show, but kind of looks like a CW show at times because it's just so clean and digitally crisp at times, with just the slightest layer of digital grain. Film emulation, as they call it. So, I mean, sometimes I've added film grain in some of my videos. I don't know if I think only a couple of people have noticed, but sometimes I'll do it if I think it's a little too sharp or something like that. Or maybe if I forgot to shave a little part of my face, I'll slap some film grain on it to make it look a little bit less sharp. But as far as the audio, I did take a couple of notes here. So the audio is really hit and miss in this. Like I think I gave Man of Steel like a 9.9. Like it was almost a 10 because the bass just booms on it. There's a lot of surround effects in the heights, in the tops, and lower channels. It's just a really dynamic mix, Man of Steel. So I was really hoping that this would carry over to Superman 2025. Granted, this is from the Apple TV. This is the digital version, but it's not drastically different. A lot of the compression nowadays, it's still pretty good. So I mean, if I've compared the digital version of Man of Steel to the physical copy, it isn't like a 9-day difference. Like it's still pretty close. It gives you a pretty good gauge. I don't know if the volume would be any different on this digital version than what it is on the physical disc on the 4K Blu-ray, but I did have to turn up the volume on this digital stream, like a fair amount. I'm gonna say I had this at like a -10 on my volume knob, whereas most of the movies, like if I was watching Man of Steel, I would have that at like a -28, maybe a -30. So it's almost I had to turn this up like 10-15 dB louder than I normally would to get the same reference level that I'm used to with like normally mixed movies. So I guess I'll find out when I get the 4K disc. Bass response is kind of hit and miss in this as well. I felt like I was let down on it. Not only is the volume kind of low, it does kind of feel flat as well. Not quite as dynamic for sure than Man of Steel was, or just even like Thunderbolts was more dynamic than Man of Steel was. There are some shots. I don't know if you guys recall that shot where Superman gets hurt, then he goes back to the Fortress of Solitude, and then he's sitting in the chair, and then they rotate the fortress, or they rotate the ceiling or something, and then the big gigantic magnifying glass shoots the sun's rays into his body. When that thing rotates, you can kind of feel like there should be some very deep rumble for that shot. But it's like there, but it's not really there. It's like it's really low. Like I feel like it should have been a lot heavier. So it's almost just like, I don't know. It's like they really did just kind of cut off certain parts of this movie. And then you have the kaiju fight where there's like a ton of bass. Like I feel like there's a whole lot of bass. Every time you would step on the ground, or even that first intro shot of where he's starting, he steps over and then Superman catches his foot and he's saving the little dog. Like that had a lot of rumble to it. Like that whole sequence really heavy with bass. So it's like some shots I felt like we're missing bass. Other shots, some of the big action stuff, kind of in and out with bass. Like the shot here where he's in the plasma river. This shot here, I felt like there should have been more bass in this scene here because this is a really big action piece, and the bass I felt was just a little bit light. No, it was just light in general. I felt like this should have been stronger. So bass really kind of, for me, it was like hit and miss. I don't know, man. You Kaleidoscape guys out there, if you guys picked up on Kaleidoscape, what was your experience like? Because mine was just kind of like sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. Volume was low, and as far as like the overhead effects, it's kind of I want to say I don't know. It's kind of There's that one scene with Mr. Terrific. Where is it? This is a good shot, by the way. This is towards the end of the movie. You know, we got Perry, we got Cat Grant. I wish I could show this in motion because it's really good in motion because it's like in slow motion. So this is a really good scene to watch. It's at the end of the movie. Um, I guess I didn't take a screenshot of it, but that scene with Mr. Terrific, where he has that little solo fight on the beach. I think it's the beach. Like you would think that there would be more overhead effects with that because you have the raptors that are flying overhead, and Mr. Terrific is flying overhead, and he's got the T spheres kind of zipping back and forth overhead. But a lot of that scene, you don't get any of that. Like most of the stuff happens in the bottom, whereas he's whipping the T spheres in the lower channels. Occasionally they'll zip overhead, but it'll come out of the top middle, where you would think it would just take up the entire all 6 channels or 4 channels. Well, I'm sure for some of you guys it's 4 channels, but for me, a couple of times it would just click on the top middle, which was very disappointing because there's a lot of raptors flying in the top channels. It was missing for that scene. Not that that's a great scene to begin with. Like I'm not a big fan of that scene, but there should have been a lot more stuff happening overhead. Scenes like I want to have like a new section where it's like, is this 1 row friendly or is this 2 row friendly? Well, every it's always gonna be 1 row friendly, but I feel like I should have like a 1 row friendly section of these reviews because this one, most of the action stays in the first row. Every once in a while, it's very rare that you'll get a dynamic object that flies to the back, which would activate the second row of surround channels. So if you are sitting in the second row, most of the surround effects are going to happen in front of you. So very rarely does it bleed over to the second row. So maybe I should make that a point in future videos because sometimes I just like to sit in the back row. But dynamic objects, not a lot of dynamic objects in this, so it doesn't always fully use all of your speakers. If you have a bigger system, if you have like just a 714 setup, then yeah, you'll be fine. But for you guys out there with larger systems out there, dual rows, multiple sets of 2 sets of top channels, then it's kind of limited in that aspect. So as far as like just the overall Atmos or the top channel effects, I don't know, maybe like 80% of the time they were used. So maybe between 60 and 80. I'd have to watch it again. I only watched it once while I was tracking the audio, but yeah, it's not as busy as I think it was on Man of Steel. But I mean, it was a decent mix from what I heard. Hopefully it would sound better on physical disc. However, I have heard otherwise. So I mean, it sounds like my experience with the digital stream sounds very similar to what these Kaleidoscape people have been watching. So I don't know, man. I'm a little let down. I mean, if you are happy with your digital stream, because I know a lot of people have picked it up on their Amazon or Apple iTunes or Fandango, Movies Anywhere. So I know some people are happy with their AV experience, video experience for sure. It's great. It's going to be like a 9 something for video. I would probably give like the audio like maybe like an 8 as far as like iTunes, but yeah, the videos definitely top notch. I think not crazy super bright, but I mean it looked bright. It did look bright on my projector, and it is sharp, despite there being a very light level of grain. It is pretty sharp. But yeah, anyways, I mean that is available now on the. It's available now on digital, iTunes. Also, it's available elsewhere. So if you want to pick this up on disc, I believe this comes out on September 23rd. A little expensive. I think this might be just a placeholder. $40. That seems kind of high. So I would expect this to drop before it ships before September 23rd. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys find that these pre-order prices are higher than the actual shipped price? I would like to know this for myself. Like, how does that work for you guys? Is it cheaper when you buy it? Is this actually is this $40 the actual price, or is this the pre-order price? Let me know in the comment section. So that comes out September 23rd, which is a few days, which actually is a week before my birthday. So So I should have that physical copy. I'm already on the list to get that, so I should probably have that in about 2 weeks. And the next one we're going to check out today is this guy here. Let's talk about Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. This dropped today. I watched this at the theater once, and I'm not going to lie, this is an extremely long movie. This also was shot digitally. It was shot with I believe the Sony Venice and then the Ecamm EZ6 or E2 or something like that. Sorry, Zcam E2 full frame 8K cinema camera as well as the Sony Venice. So you will get a 4K digital intermediate with this. This was shot with IMAX for IMAX, not in IMAX. So this does not use IMAX cameras. It used IMAX certified cameras. And there is a very faint layer of grain in this one as well. She also has a very good English accent in this movie. I'm used to Hannah, what is her name? Hannah Waddington. I believe she's British. She's also in Ted Lasso. So I'm used to hearing her with her British accent. Here she has an American accent, American accent, sorry. And it's very, very convincing. It's a little bit weird to hear her talking in this movie because I'm so used to seeing her on Ted Lasso. But this is a very crispy movie as well. Well, I want to say maybe not quite as crisp as Superman, but it's still pretty sharp though. And yes, indeed, this does have the IMAX scenes intact. Here is one in IMAX, and then of course let's go back to this one, and then this one is in 2.39. So yes, this does have the IMAX shots, and the colors on this very natural looking. Looks very similar to Dead Reckoning. So if you like the way that movie looks, this pretty much looks the exact same way. This might actually be a little bit more colorful. Might have a bit more saturation in the primaries. I feel like maybe Dead Reckoning was a little bit more muted. Otherwise, detail-wise, it's equally just as good. I mean, look at this. This is Tom Cruise jumping out the airplane like he always does in all these Mission Impossible movies. Good HDR. I mean, you don't see anything being blown out in this specific shot here. And, during the whole movie, nothing's really blown out. Everything's really well controlled for these specular highlights. Here's another IMAX shot. We get a nice little bright little light right behind Palm Clementive's head. So you do get those nice pops of color in those darker shots. And look at that, man. The detail just looks great on that. And this is a dark shot. This is Ethan Hunt. This might be a little hard to tell, but I mean, this is a pretty good shot. I wouldn't mind being in this shot personally. So it's a good shot. Another close-up shot. I mean, look at that. Look at all the detail in that IMAX right there. Now, since this wasn't filmed in IMAX, it was shot with IMAX certified cameras. It's not like where you watch a Christopher Nolan movie where you go from like 35 mil to like the 15/70 IMAX scenes where it's like you'll notice film grain and then you go to the IMAX shots and it's like quadruple the resolution. This one, the resolution stays pretty much the same consistently throughout the entire movie. You just get the added height information, top and bottom. So it's not like these IMAX shots are any better than just the regular 239 shots. So it's consistently really good throughout the entire thing. Another thing where he's on the plane, he's actually got a lot of shots. Have you guys noticed this when you watch the movie? He's got a lot of shots with him with his clothes off. I think there's like some really like 3 scenes of him with like, he's like, I'm taking off my shirt in a lot of these shots. So as much as possible, I'm going to go shirtless. And he does. That's 2. This is 1. This is, where's the other one? That's 2. And then here we go. And then here's 3. Here's another one. Look at this. He's in the fetal position, very much like Gravity, Sandra Bullock in Gravity. And these dark shots, they look good. I mean, this looks very, I don't think he did this practically. He'd have to be crazy I know he's pretty crazy with his stunts, but I'm pretty sure this has got to be CG because this is like under the Arctic. And this part that looks like clouds is actually ice. So, I mean, they did the stylized, he falls he falls upwards. Well, he drifts upwards. Then he lays against this, which is the ice. So I mean, this is like underwater, under the Arctic or something. I don't know what ocean he's in, but good stuff, man. Good. I like this. I mean, I would put this for sure. I would put this in the nines as well. Just as good as Superman. 100%. 9 point. I don't know. 9.4, 9.5 for Mission Impossible iTunes version. And coming from Superman, which wasn't the best for audio, you go over to this and you kind of think, I was thinking to myself when I saw it at Dolby Cinema, I was like, it sounds okay. It's got to sound better at my house. And this just didn't sound that good. Like, it was all right. The bass was a lot stronger in Superman, which is weird because I thought like Superman was borderline kind of weak. And then I came over and watched this. I was like, oh my God, this is another notch down from Superman. So much so that I made a 10 dB curve in my processor. So from 50 hertz. So my usually when I review movies, I don't use a curve for my movie reviews. So everything's flat. Typically it's always just flat, just to keep it as neutral as possible. So I don't have a house curve that I typically use. But lately a lot of these movies I've had to introduce a 10 dB boost from 50 hertz up, 10 dB boost on down. So from 50 hertz down to 20 hertz, 10 dB boost, just to give me what I feel these soundtracks should sound normally. So if I'm not reviewing a movie, in the bass is kind of weak, I will use that LFE boost. So I will have a boosted bottom end for my own personal usage. I don't know what you guys use, if you guys use a specific house curve where you're boosting the bottom end, or if you are one of these BEQ users, then obviously you guys have tried to fix these audio mixes on your own. I feel like you shouldn't have to do that, but unfortunately that does seem to be the case for the past couple of years now. Anyways, the bass was kind of weak in this. I was just really disappointed in the bass. The surround effects, I'm trying to think. I took some notes here. Let me read my notes. Mission Impossible. All right, so the intro where it starts off, where you get the scroll. Well, you get the little medley of character shots. There are different voices. There's a voiceover that happens at the beginning where you're getting it's basically like I don't know, it's like a 5-minute exposition of like Angela Bassett going through Ethan Hunt's past missions and stuff like that, and how he hasn't let down the world. Basically, you've never followed the rules. You've always went about it your own way, but you've never let us down doing so, and we've always trusted you. Stuff like that, and then you get like the medley of his all of his friends that died and all that stuff like that, all his past missions. So a lot of exposition at the beginning of the movie. But during that part, there's some voices that do bounce around in different channels. Nothing that's really dynamic that move. There's no objects that move around for that part. I don't think there's really many scenes that have objects that are bouncing around. But for that intro shot, it has some voices that do bounce around at the start of the film. 27 minutes in, the electric top middle. Oh, at 27 minutes in, when he goes into the VR booth for the entity, where he has a one-on-one powwow with the entity, you get the entity's voice that kind of booms. It looms overhead in the surround channels, expands out into the front sound stage. There are some deep bass drops here. It would sound, well, maybe not super deep, but there's a bass that sounds like a heartbeat for this scene. It's like bump, 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 which does sound pretty good. Not as deep as I probably would have wanted, but there is some pretty deep bass for this specific scene at 27 minutes. There's some electric sounds that kind of zip around clockwise around the room over your head. So that's one of the better surround moments. Also, I feel like one of the cheesier moments in the movie, one of the over-the-top moments in the movie. I feel like very much like the Fast and the Furious franchise. It started off really grounded, and then here we are. I don't know what number this is. Like, what is this? Mission Impossible 7 or something? It just really goes off the rails in this movie, I feel. It's entertaining, but he just goes off the rails. Um, at an hour 20, there is a shootout in the cabin, which has some pretty good bullets that ricochet back and forth. There's some really nice ambiance in the lower channels where you hear the cabin is on fire and it's creaking and it's burning. You hear the embers kind of crackling in the background where it sounds like it's really far off. So the soundstage is pretty good for this specific scene. Also, the flames, as the camera pans around, kind of moves throughout the different channels, so that's pretty good. Also, the beams, the wooden beams, you can hear them kind of crack, 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 kind of snipping and crackling overhead. So that's a good scene as well. 128. I guess there's a big bass rumble here with the submarine. I don't remember what that looked like. I'll have to, when I do the review, I'll have to work that in there. Hour 39, Rolling Creeks. I don't know what that is either. At 2 hours, 26 minutes in, during the big plane flying scene, you would think that there would be some more overhead flyovers and stuff because they're kind of just zipping around. They're both in biplanes and they're dueling biplanes. You would think there'd be some more movement overhead, even just some atmosphere, maybe some wind and stuff going on above you. There's really not that much happening at all in the top channels. So I feel like that was a disappointment too. Like this, a lot of the big stuff in this just kind of let me down. There's not a whole lot that's going to be too row friendly. So just like Superman, most of the stuff is going to happen in the first row. This only pertains to you if you have 2 rows. Most of the surround information is going to happen in the first row. If you're sitting in the second row, you're not going to get that much action in the second row. So keep that in mind. And then also just the top channel usage as well. Stuff that you think would be above your head just wasn't there. A lot of the stuff does happen in the middle channels. However, it does get some pretty good spread of 6 channels if you have 6 channels. So also keep that in mind. If you have more than 4 channels, a lot of the times it comes out of the top middle. But, I do think the big win is, of course, just like Superman, is going to be the video quality. I would have to give it like a 9.4, 9.5. Audio wise, I'm giving this, iTunes digital review score probably the same as Superman, probably like 8.2 for the digital stream. It's good. I mean, it's got some good soundstage on it. It's pretty deep sounding when there is some good effects, some nice ambiance in the lower channels, but not as dynamic as I thought it was going to be. And then the bass was really kind of a letdown. There should have been a lot more bass. It is better in Superman, but this is disappointing. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the final reckoning. I felt like he should have went out with a bang instead of a slightly above average whimper. But that's it. Those are my 4K digital reviews for Superman and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. But what is your thoughts on these movies? What was your experience like watching Superman, and what was your experience like watching Final Reckoning? Leave your comments down below and let me know. Also, how did you watch these movies? Did you watch the digital stream, or did you watch it on another means? Let me know. And this comes out. Let me give you the date on this as well, just in case you want to know. Let's add this to the stream really quick. So Final Reckoning comes out October 14th. Man, you got a ways to go for this to come out, huh? I feel like maybe I should have did a separate video for this, but that's okay. So October 14th, that's still a ways off. Is it worth a purchase? If you're a Mission Impossible fan, of course. It's a fun movie. Why wouldn't you pick it up? I am anticipating a giant box set probably coming out very soon, shortly after. I guess keep a lookout on that. But what do we have here? Do we have any questions? I know some of you guys popped in some comments here. I don't like how they swapped Superman from Henry Cavill to the new guy. New Superman, new guy. You know what would be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if they had Henry Cavill come back as Batman? Because he's pretty suave. If you've ever seen that movie with Army Hammer, I forgot what movie it is, but he's very James Bondish, which could be kind of like a Bruce Wayne. We know he's a good-looking guy. He can play dapper, and then he can also put on the suit and be muscular and menacing and just look like he can kick some ass. So if they put him as Batman, I think that'd be awesome. Plus, he's about that age that they're looking for, I believe. Because if they're gonna put like Damian Wayne in the movie as well, Cavill looks like he could have kids already. Watched both Man of Steel and Superman this week and totally agree with you on the feel of the movie. This felt like high budget Smallville TV movie, but good TV-ish. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, some scenes have a good cinematics to it, and then some scenes are kind of TV-ish. So it's a little disappointing. I thought maybe it was just like the Dolby Cinema presentation, but it looks very much the same as when you watch it at home. Did you watch it at Cinema Shane? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Henry Cavill looks the most like Christopher Reeve. I guess so. I mean, if Christopher Reeve is your baseline as being Superman, then sure. You know what I did like? I did like that. Oh man, I know he's been in the news lately, but Dean Cain. I kind of grew up watching. Well, I grew up watching Christopher Reeve, of course, but as far as TV Superman, I did watch Lois and Clark growing up, and we have an Asian Superman. Does he get enough credit for being an Asian Superman? Is he like Chinese or something? So look at that, Asian Superman. Asians represent. I'm not paying $40 unless it's a nice steelbook. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, movies are expensive nowadays, eh? I know some folks are just like, oh man, the Kaleidoscape version is $40, but then you look, you go to order the physical disc, it's like $40 too. I no longer go to theaters ever since I upgraded my TV and AVR. Okay, I mean that's fair. However, your TV is never going to be as big as a movie theater screen. No spoilers. Did I spoil? I don't think I spoiled anything. Did I spoil anything? I don't believe I did. If I spoiled, what did I spoil? Leave your comment down below and let me know what I spoiled in whatever movie that you think I spoiled, just in case I can correct it in the future. Terminator Jews DR Part 1 was not great, so I don't plan on ever watching the final. Come on. Come on, Terminator. You got to watch you can't have watched all of them and then not watch the last one. It's like running a race and then stopping right at the finish line and turning around and going home. You would think they would make the audio better. You would think so. You would think so. It's funny that a Marvel movie has better audio than a DC movie this year. That's very strange. Usually Warner Brothers puts out some pretty good bangers, but and then usually Disney puts out some Atmos mixes. But for Thunderbolts, it's pretty good. I liked it. What do you guys use? 16. Prometheus is 7.1 in HD and 5.1 in 4K. It would be nice to have 4K visuals and the bigger soundscape. Is this true? I see. I have Prometheus. Every time I watch Prometheus, it's the 3D version. I forgot, is the 3D version 4K or is it 7.1 or 5.1? I feel like it's 5.1. I have to go back and check. But if that's the case, I'm gonna have to rip the audio from the HD version, put it on the 3D version. Man, now you got me doing some extra homework tonight. Tom can lower his heart rate so he can breathe underwater for a long time. Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, he was down like submarine depth, man. He was hanging out. Plus, he was going deeper. He's going deeper into the ocean because the submarine was sinking as he was hanging off the side trying to get the breathing apparatus off. So I was like, I was like, are we really doing this, Tom? it's so it's right up there with Fast and the Furious when they went to when they went out in space. Here we go. Fast and Furious is going back to the street racing like Fast 1. Yeah, after Fast 10 that nobody went to go see. Of course, that $300 million, what is it, 3 or $400 million budget they had? They're cutting that right down. They're cutting that right down. The Man from Uncle. Thank you, Wendell. Wendell, yeah. So Henry Cavill and The Man from Uncle, which by the way has a really good Atmos mix. Fun movie as well. Army Hammer and then not Alicia Silverstone, whoever the girl was that played Tomb Raider. She was in it. What was her name? Not Alicia Silverstone. It'll come to me. Do you like Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score better than Superman 2025? Man, that's another thing. Like, I do like this Superman movie a lot. There's a lot of stupid stuff happens, like some common sense stuff that doesn't make sense in it. But I get it. It's kind of throw your brain out the window, Superman. But the score was really forgettable. It's like they tried to mix in the John Williams score mixed in with the other score. It's like they never really embraced John Williams score fully to give it that same kind of just that old school gravitas, that sound, that because the old Superman score gets you amped up when that score comes on. This one, it doesn't do that. It's like it's really forgettable score. Like I don't even remember this score, except for the John Williams stuff. But I mean, I feel like it just didn't. Like the John Williams stuff would come in, it just wasn't dynamic. It just didn't have the same feel. Like you felt like Superman was about to get busy and do something great. It was just kind of there in the background, and then they mixed in their new score, which was highly forgettable. So yeah, Hans Zimmer definitely had definitely a bigger feel to it. Not that I don't even like. I like Hans Zimmer's score better than Man of Steel. Like it seems more cinematic for sure. Like it's a bigger, more epic sound to it. However, I don't feel like Hans Zimmer's Superman. I don't even know if Superman has a theme in Hans Zimmer's score. Like it's nothing that I could hum. If there is, I don't know it. I just know that it's loud, it's bombastic, it sounds big, it sounds cinematic. That's the only thing I know about the Man of Steel score. I don't know if Man of Steel has his own theme song, because just like in Superman, I think it's forgettable. But it does sound better than Superman 2025. What's your favorite summer movie so far? Man, it's a toss up. I kind of like F1. By the way, I think F1 is coming out this Friday. That's the word. On the 22nd, supposedly coming out. So I'm wondering if it's going to drop on digital or if it's going to be like an Apple TV exclusive. So that's going to be interesting if the rumor is true. But I like F1. That's a fun movie. I had a fun time with Superman too. Probably those two movies I think are my favorites. As far as like summer flick, F1 and Superman are my two favorites. Hopefully Tron Ares and Predator Badlands get great mixes and great bass on the 4K. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those. Really, Tron Ares. Tron Legacy is great. I'm hoping we get a good Tron Legacy 4K transfer coming up. Angela Jolie, no. I like Man of Steel score better. Yeah, it's definitely better for sure. John Vassia, hey buddy, I watched the demo you done on the 2 per listen D215 subwoofers, and they are half price in Australia. Wow, I bought 2 of them and they work as you described them. I love them. Might buy 2 more. Wow, that's crazy. Did you buy 2 brand new ones? Because that's kind of crazy. Because what are they? I think like 10 or 11 grand now. I don't know how much they went up in price, but they were $10,000 each when I reviewed them. So if you got it for $5,000 each, that's pretty good. Oh, sorry, D212, not D215. Okay, well, even still, half price D212s. It's not a bad deal. I saw a video where a guy tried to defend 4K releases having neutered bass because most people don't have big speakers and subs, which was a really bad argument. Your thoughts? Well, clearly he doesn't have a good audio system. Anybody with an audio system would not say that. And just not really knowledgeable. Whoever that person is, just probably not that knowledgeable. So I'm sure these movies probably sound good on his sound bar, but we know better. We know better. Dangerous Animals was a banger. You should give it a review so more people watch it. I've never heard of Dangerous Animals. What is Dangerous Animals? Animals movie. What is this, a shark movie? Oh, this is the one with Jai Courtney. Okay, I think I saw a trailer on the iTunes trailer section. Is this a straight for video type of thing? Because it's not playing in my theater. At least not that I'm aware of. Where were we? $7,500. $7,500 in Australia for the D212? How much is it here? Burleson D212. So it is. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper for sure. It's not half price. I mean, it's $8,800 here. So, I mean, it's still cheaper, but not exactly half price there, John. I was thinking maybe, unless that's for two subwoofers. If you paid $7,500 for two D212s, then that's a killer deal. It's on Kaleidoscape. I think it was straight to video. Oh, all right, yeah, because I remember seeing a trailer on it in the Apple or the iTunes trailers section. And I just got invited to be part of the what was it? I am now part of the Apple iTunes early release schedule. So I will be getting their shows and movies. Apple TV here is called. Hello, thank you so much for being an active part of Apple TV's Early Access program. We appreciate all the incredible content you've created and shared with your audience. Well, thank you, Apple. Look at that. See, I'm even reviewing some Apple movies today, iTunes movies today. So hopefully I will be getting some early Apple iTunes movies shortly. Hopefully they are in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, because sometimes they will send you stuff that's only in 1080p for whatever reason. Do you like JTR speakers? I can't say that I've heard them in my space. I feel like this is a common question that comes up every time I go live. But no, I have not had any of those speakers here in my own home theater, so I cannot tell you for certain if I like them or not. I've only seen them out in some people's houses and stuff like that, but never in my own house, so I can't really give you a definitive answer on whether or not they would be something that I would purchase. However, I know a lot of people love them, so I mean, I'm sure they're great. Where are we at here? Shane, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions on short throw projectors? Are you talking about short throw projectors or ultra short throw projectors? Because short throw projectors is kind of just like a regular projector, but with a short throw. And then you have the ultra short throw projectors, which sit right under your screen. But I mean, if you're talking just regular short throw projectors, sure. I mean, they're good. I don't know of any really high end short throw projectors. I know like BenQ makes some, and maybe Epson, I think, has some short throw projectors. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you need, then yeah, 100% go with them. But I don't think any like really high end dedicated Home theater projectors are short throw though. Are you coming to Cedia this year? No, I'm not going to Cedia this year. I don't like. Listen, I don't really like going to shows. I don't like the big crowds. I don't like a lot of the people. I don't like a lot of people next to me. Sorry. That's why that's why you never see me really do any show coverage. Do you see Companion and Bring Her Back? I did see Companion. That's actually, yeah, that was a good movie too. I feel like a lot more people should have seen Companion. By the way, also has a pretty good Atmos mix. Nice atmospherics in Companion, and the movie itself kind of gave away the whole premise in the trailer, which is a bummer because I guess it would have been a nice little twist, but that's a good movie. Yeah, it's just like I know Megan Fox had a movie similar to it that was on Netflix. I think it was called Servant. Kind of the same type of premise. But yeah, I really did like that movie. And then Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back was definitely a creepy movie, which I would not watch again because it's a little too. Not that it was super gory, but there's some pretty nasty stuff in it that I didn't even want to look at. I kind of had to turn to when he was like chewing on the glass or whatever it was or the table. I was just like, ooh. I was like, I don't want to see this, man. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. I didn't hate the movie. It was just not exactly my type of horror. Atmos can really tricky and disappointing. Do you think the earlier Atmos releases were better? I mean, listen, I mean, it's hit and miss, man. I mean, a lot of the Disney movies were just not really good, but then you have movies like Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was pretty good. So I don't know if they've been listening to some of the discourse with the forum community or the YouTube community, but yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. So I don't know. I don't want to say like earlier stuff is better because there's some really good stuff out right now. Just like these big Hollywood movies lately, kind of a letdown. I do have, I've got some good. I feel like Fantastic Four is probably going to sound good because Captain America 4, A Brave New World, also not that bad sounding. Better than Superman. I watched, I picked up Captain America 4 on 3D, by the way, and I muxed the Atmos onto the 3D version of Brave New World. Really good 3D as well. Unfortunately, no IMAX scenes on the 3D disc. That's kind of a bummer, but what are you gonna do? I also think that Thunderbolts is coming out September 10th in Japan, I believe. So if you are a 3D fan, keep an eye out for that. Also, I watched last night Bumblebee 3D, which I think is from Turbine. They've got some pretty good 3D movies also. I watched Bumblebee 3D. I just muxed the Atmos mix on that yesterday. And, the beginning of Bumblebee is really good with the OG Gen 1 Transformer designs. Like, I wish we could still get that design in some live action CG. That's really good. Just as long as you mix you remix the Atmos with it. I also watched Mission Impossible Fallout in 3D as well, which I think is also from Turbine. That really good too. Unfortunately, I don't recall. I don't think the IMAX scene was in 3D though. I don't think it was. Um, but the 3D is pretty good. 3D is really good. I had to. I don't recall. I don't think that. No, that has an Atmos mix also. I think I muxed that together. Anyways, those are from Turbine. I think Turbine is what, German. The only thing I didn't really like from Turbine was Twister. Remember the first Twister that Turbine did, which had the absolute worst Atmos mix ever? Garbage. Will Trinov fix the audio dropout 5 to 7 seconds before audio kicks in? Will they ever fix that little issue there? I have asked them. I've asked their engineer last time I was at their headquarters. I think sometime, when was it, last summer? I believe I was there. We had a little discussion about that. And I was told that they would have to kind of like rebuild the entire operating system almost from like the ground up to get that working. I guess it's like a handshake issue or something like that. They are aware of it. They've known about this forever, for years. So it's not like it's a secret. Um, do I have a dropout? I hear some people don't have dropouts. Like my Patreon community doesn't seem to have this dropout. I have a dropout. It's always, I think it ranges between like 3 to 5 seconds. I don't think it's ever been as long as 7 seconds, but I think it's between like 3 to 5. It's usually if you hit play on like a Blu-ray or whatever it is. It's like a movie or something. If you hit play on a movie, and then sometimes it takes like 3 to 5 seconds, at least from my altitude 32 or 24. It takes about 5 seconds or so, 3 to 5 seconds before the audio will click on. But I've gotten so used to it that sometimes it'll do it, because sometimes movies will have a blank spot. Like sometimes, not all movies, when you hit play, automatically starts. Sometimes it'll be black and then the movie starts playing. Like it'll just roll into the credits or whatever, like produced by Plan B or something like that. So for that kind of stuff, I don't care so much. Like are you really gonna miss, the plan, produced by Plan B or directed by whoever? That kind of stuff I don't care about. But it's kind of a rare that I've seen movies that automatically start with people talking. Like I couldn't name you any movies that start like that, but yeah, it is kind of annoying sometimes. But I have gotten used to tapping back really quick. If it's something that I'm missing, I'll have to play, then tap the back button to get it going. So one of the little quirks that plagues the Trinov, and has plagued it for, I think, since its inception back in 2014-15. I mean, I know they're coming out with something new during CEDIA. I don't know if it's going to be a new processor or not, but something new is coming out. I guess we'll find out if that's going to do anything for that little problem. But considering all the stuff that the Trinov does, I find it to be a very small annoyance. So not a deal breaker, because it does things that other processors can only dream of doing. So that's the price you pay. Gravity did set the standard pretty early onto Atmos. Yeah, man, it's still one of the OG kings. What's this all about? It's still one of the OGs, still one of the best. 10 out of 10 for sure. Why haven't the studios released Fight Club on 4K Blu-ray? I think it's coming out this year. I think that's the word, is that it's supposed to come out this year. So what did they release? They came out with 7, and then Panic Room. Then I think Fight Club is next. So they are doing all of Fincher's movies. Gotta say, Pacific Rim, probably the best 4K all time, with the video and sound quality in full screen. Now, I'm gonna say Pacific Rim is the best in 3D and Dolby Atmos. The best combination, because it was shot with 3D in mind. Yeah, I agree. Thunderbolts was underwhelming. Yeah, Thunderbolts. That's one of those movies, and it's an acquired type of taste. It's a very emotional. If you like emotional superheroes, then maybe it's up your alley. Now, I think Thunderbolts might be the best looking Marvel movie from a cinematography standpoint, because it does have that. And it was shot digitally, but the color grade on that. I mean, if you like DC movies, Zack Snyder movies, you probably like the way that Thunderbolts looks, because it's got that darker color palette, kind of high contrast, deep blacks, muted colors. It has a very Zack Snyderish look to it. I would also say Fantastic Four is shot very similar as well. A little bit more colors to Fantastic Four, but If we're talking like just a from the cinematography standpoint, them going back to the '60s aesthetic, still kind of nice bright colors, but yet still have that high contrast look. Film grain, a lot of shots I think were kind of open, shot open wide as well, so you'll get some of that background blur. I think these last two Marvel movies look really good. They did. I think they went a little overboard on A Brave New World. That kind of almost has a very similar look to Thunderbolts, but just really dull. A lot of overblown highlights and stuff like that. Just kind of just soft looking, really soft. However, I do like if we're just gonna go last three movies, then I think they're from a visual standpoint, the last three Marvel movies, they're different. They're different than what we've got in the past. What's up, Ike? Hello, all. Hello, Easy HT Tech. What is worse, a HT enthusiast who doesn't care about movies, or a movie enthusiast who doesn't care about home theater? You know what? There's a lot of them. I think that you'll find that most people on YouTube, whether it's a smaller channel or a big channel, most of the home theater YouTube community channel creators, they care more about their gear and just reviewing the gear. And then you get them talking about movies. They can't talk about movies because they haven't seen anything. They'll review like the same 5 movies over and over again. Like, oh man, yo, did you check out Top Gun Maverick? Did you check out Ready Player One? I'm like, dude, come on. When was the last time you watched the movie? And then you get the movie fanatics that are like, hey man, I think this movie looks great in 4K. It looks great on my LG 77-inch OLED, and it's the details fantastic on this. Yeah, I can't review the audio because I just have a sound bar. But you know what? It sounds great. I think you guys are gonna be blown away by the audio. So if you have a sound bar, it'll sound great. But I'm not gonna review the audio because I only have a sound bar, and then I only have a 77-inch TV. So I can't listen. Sometimes some channels I just can't watch because, or sometimes I'll just watch channels just because I know I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get some humor out of it. So I'm like, I was like, come on, guys. You can't be a well-rounded AV reviewer unless you know your gear and then you know your movies. You can't be like one or the other unless you just have one goal you're trying to achieve. So, just my thoughts on it. When I'm on Apple Music, I just swipe back after 3 seconds. Oh, well, there you go. See that? I take it, Big Jack, that you are a Trina of Altitude owner. Yeah, you know what? I have noticed that as well. I typically I don't listen to music in my home theater because I like to listen to music 2 channels. Like I know some of the Atmos mixes are really good, but I tried listening to some Atmos stuff, and I just if you are gonna listen to music, yeah, it's really bad. It's bad. Like don't listen to Atmos music on your turn off because you will be frustrated. That's part of the reason why I don't do it. What do you think about Storm Audio? Storm Audio. I mean, I think it's great, man. If you can have an upgradable processor and it can support 24, 28, 30 plus channels and you have a big theater, it's kind of a no-brainer. You know what I mean? I don't know how well direct art works, but it is what it is. How was There Will Be Blood? What? How has There Will Be? What the fuck am I reading? How has There Will Be Blood not been given the 4K treatment? Sorry, man, I can't read right. Oh, are we talking about? What's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis, right? I watched that not that long ago. It's still a great movie. I wondered that as well. Like I thought maybe Criterion would have it out or something, but they don't. So I'm sure it's gonna come out soon because I think Daniel Day-Lewis he's coming out with a new movie. I think his son directed it, if I'm not mistaken. So if this movie's really any good, then they'll probably push that out. If you hostile audio, what do you think? I'm not sure what you mean. If you hostile audio, what you think? You might have to rephrase that one. What's up, last movie standing? Have you seen the online 4K eyes wide shut images comparing to the older Blu-ray? I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've even seen that movie. Isn't that the one with Tom Cruise? I think this might be like the only Tom Cruise movie I haven't seen. Isn't that with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. But I don't think I've even seen that movie. Like it never caught my fancy. I don't even know if it's any good. Is it even any good? Should I watch it? I'm not even sure. Most HT guys on YouTube just watch demos over and over. Listen, I have some demos that I watch over and over. However, I do watch a lot of movies though. I have like a stable of demos, which I think we've done some videos in the past about our go-to demos, which I have a list of that I watch over and over again. Pacific Rim being one of them, Tron Legacy being another one. Some of the older OG stuff is really good. LOL, I don't even attempt to review the audio. I just revert them to you. You know what, Last Man Standing? I did come across your 40-year-old virgin review. What was it, the other day? 2 days, a couple days ago? I was kind of taken aback that you didn't think there was an upgrade on that, because on my screen, now my screen is bigger than yours. Like, I don't know how big yours is. What, 55, 65 or something like that? I don't even know if you're still in the chat or not. But anyways, if you guys want to check out another review of the 40-year-old virgin, you can go over to Last Man Standing. He's also another YouTuber who reviews movies. He's got way more movies than I do. Way more movies than I've ever had my entire life. So he's a hardcore collector. And he reviewed the 40-year-old virgin and didn't think that there was a big difference between the two. I'm curious. I didn't even get a lot of views on that. I didn't think I was going to, because it just seems like, I feel like that comedy probably would hit nowadays with how PC people are in this new generation. Like, I feel like this movie would really offend a lot of this younger generation of kids and adults. So I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of views on that. But I had to review it because I love that movie. That movie cracks me up. I can pop into that movie at any point in time and just crack up and just watch it all the way through. But I thought that it was a huge upgrade from the Blu-ray. I mean, I even put like some side-by-sides on it, like some straight rips side by side. And I thought it was quite a big difference between the two. The older Blu-ray, I believe, is a little bit more saturated. I think it's a little bit more overly saturated, which I think a lot of people do like, because I think I put up a review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and people were just like, dude, you mixed up the Blu-ray and the 4K. The Blu-ray looks better because it's more colorful. That's another movie that was a big upgrade. 40-Year-Old Virgin and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. Big upgrades as far as a resolution standpoint on my screen. Maybe it's harder to tell in something smaller than 150, but at 150 inches, it's pretty obvious that there was a big upgrade. But if you guys wanna go to his channel and leave him a comment, go check out his review. Or have you guys even seen the 40-year-old version? Is that kind of humor? Do you find that kind of humor funny? Because I do. I think it's hilarious. That guy who defended the neutered base has an OLED and 5.1 system that was not calibrated at all. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to go name any names unless they're here. I have no idea what you're talking about. 40-year-old version looked lifeless on my TV, 65-inch LG OLED. It's all personal preference. I prefer more saturated. There you go. Some people like it. I mean, when I did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe that was definitely more heavier on the sepia, a little bit more warmer looking than the 4K was. So I was a little taken aback when I saw the 4K. I was like, oh, because I've been so used to seeing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre looking a little more orange over what we got on the 4K version. So, plus I feel like I didn't mention it, but I think they might have used, even with the 40-year-old version and also Texas Chainsaw, I feel like they might have used AI because a lot a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre looked eerily sharp, like way sharper than I think it should look. Like I had mentioned that it looked like a movie that could have been shot today because it was so clean looking in some parts. I was like, there's no way this movie probably would look like this. Anyways, the Laserdisc era was what got me into home theater. First time ever hearing high dynamic AC3 surround sound in movies. This is from Tyvo. Yeah, I didn't have money. I didn't have enough money back in the Laserdisc days to buy an audio system. Although I did have a Laserdisc player towards the end of its life when people were dumping them. I picked one up when I was in my teen years. I think it was a Pioneer. It was not one of those ones that flipped over by itself. It was just a regular one. I had to get up and flip over the disc, flip over that giant platter. And the first Laserdisc I picked up was actually, I picked up The Crow and I think Mission Impossible were my two first Laserdiscs. After that, DVD came out, and then I bought that Toshiba DVD player, which was like $500, and then it was all downhill from there. No more spare change in my wallet. Is that it? Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Just over an hour. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Did you watch Superman? Did you watch Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning? How did you watch it? Did you watch it on Apple TV? Did you watch it on the Kaleidoscape? Did you watch it by some other means? And how did you feel about the audio and video quality? Did you feel the same way that I felt? Did you feel the audio was let down? Because I know you didn't feel the video was a letdown because the video was really good. Anyways, leave your thoughts down below. If you want to pick up anything that I've mentioned in this video, I will leave some links for it down below in this video's description. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you